Hello. Now, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what have you been up to?
I have projects that I need to complete um, by Wednesday. Final projects. I'm supposed to be doing an audio documentary. Um, the one that I'm working on has to do with the power of
Okay.
storytelling.
It sounds interesting.
It is.
So, how much work have
I've completed 7 minutes of the documentary already. It should be 20 minutes. I'm waiting on the other persons who are supposed to be participating to send in their recordings. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping that by the end of the day, I can get all of those materials so I can just, hurry and well, not really hurry, but put everything together because I'm racing against the clock. I don't know if you've ever heard that
No, this
idiom,
is the first
racing.
time I've heard it.
It means that you have a deadline to meet and you don't have a lot of time to complete what you're doing. So you're racing
Mhm.
against the clock.
Great. Great. So, this is not an individual assignment. You have your partners
It is.
with you.
No, it is an individual assignment, but I have to get persons, like I have to interview
Okay.
people. And what about you? What have you been
Nothing
up
is
to?
special. I am giving online classes from home now, and this is the
Mhm.
month of Ramadan. So we Muslims observe fast. So that's all.
Okay. I was speaking with someone earlier today, a young lady, about Ramadan, and she says that she goes to bed at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Does the fast extend to that
At
time?
4 a.m., the fast actually starts.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a breakfast,
Okay.
and then after prayer call, we cannot eat anything
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day.
Okay.
Then in the evening, around 6 o'clock Saudi Arabia time, in the evening, then we break
Mm-hmm.
our fast. So it is almost from
Okay.
4 till 6 p.m.
After
I
3
cannot
in
hear
the
you
morning?
properly.
I was asking what time in the morning do you have breakfast? Because I heard you mention something about having breakfast before the prayer call.
Is before the prayer call, we have to finish eating, because after that we cannot. It is not, it is forbidden
Mm-hmm.
to eat after the prayer call.
Okay, what time is the prayer? What time is the prayer
4
call?
4 a.m. around 4 a.m.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I remember reading
Mhm.
something about Ramadan that during the evenings, I guess from 6 until 6 p.m. until I'm not sure when, there is usually like a feast.
Yes, in the evening when we break our fast, at that
Mm-hmm.
time it is sort of a feast for us, because we spend whole day without eating anything. So it is like a feast when we eat in the evening. Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. And why do you fast on Ramadan?
Since it is mandatory for Muslims, and our holy prophet, peace be upon him, did the same thing. And the main reason
Mm-hmm.
for fasting is to keep yourself away from sins. So this is a kind of practice when you distance yourself from the things
Mm-hmm.
which are allowed. So even you just don't eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like a practice so that after Ramadan, you can keep yourself away from sins as well.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for telling me that information. Now I understand a lot better about Ramadan and what it
So we have
includes.
to continue with this practice for the whole month. And after a month, then we have a day which is called Eid. Yes, Eid. Eid means it is a celebration. You can say it's a party time. It's a feast. Yes, that we have observed fast for the whole month. So we celebrate. We meet with our family members. So we actually celebrate it.
Okay, interesting. And what is that process like now, seeing that we're in the middle of the coronavirus?
In the coronavirus, things are not in the same way as they used to be. So we can go to mosque, but we have to observe social distancing. We need to wear our mask. We need to go to the mosque with our own prayer mat. And they have given us a time period that you cannot spend more than 30 minutes in the mosque.
That's interesting. And before, like, what was the time frame? Could you spend as long as you wanted to in the mosque?
Yes, it is in our religion, in the holy month of Ramadan, the last 10 days, of Ramadan, Muslims stay in the mosque for the whole 10 days in order to pray, so that they will be all alone. They will not be talking to their family members, and they are not wasting time anywhere else. Since it is Corona situation, so it is also banned now. We cannot do it.
Wow. That must be really tough for some persons. Wow, that's quite interesting. 30 minutes when you could spend all day
and
if you wanted to.
This is actually the second Ramadan for me in Saudi Arabia. So last year I was also here in Saudi Arabia, but since it was the start of COVID-19, and we were not allowed at all to go to the mosques. So the mosques were shut down.
Wow. Oh.
So that was difficult thing for us.
Okay.
So we used to pray at home.
Okay. That's interesting. Something similar is happening in my country. I mean, we don't have mosques. There aren't, well, I think we have about 2 mosques here. I think so. There aren't a lot of Muslims here, but I know that one is perhaps in my city and another one is in the capital city in Kingston. So we don't have a lot of Muslims here, but we have lots and lots of Christians. Christianity is the most popular religion. And for us as well, the churches have been suffering from lockdown. Sometimes at one point, persons could go to church, but there was only a certain number that could, hold inside of the sanctuary. Now, most persons have to have the services from home because we're not. You only like 12 persons are allowed, and those 12 persons have to be people who are, conducting the services online. So most people have to stay at home and they can't go inside the churches. For us, we don't usually, well, depending on what denomination you are, if you're not Catholic, then persons don't really go inside the church to pray and to like that. So that is not really something that has affected a lot of persons who are not Catholics. If you are Catholic, then the church is open and you go inside and you pray. But if you're not, then a lot of persons don't usually do that. But it's quite interesting, what is happening across the world and how similar governments are really dealing with the situation of coronavirus, regardless of where in the world you are.
Exactly. So the malls are open there?
Malls, we don't have a lot of malls per se. We're very small.
Shops.
We have mostly like shops and little stores. I mean, you do have huge buildings and plazas, but the malls, when I think of malls, I think of these huge places that have large stores and you go up an escalator like in New York and those places. We don't have lots and lots of those at all. Because we're a small country. Most stores are open. Most restaurants are open, but there are also restrictions on the time that they get to operate, and also how many persons inside the establishment. For some restaurants, you can only have takeout. You cannot sit. Most restaurants, you cannot sit and have your food. You have to just buy and leave.
Okay. Can you hear me?